Hey, welcome back to iAllegedly. I'm Dan, and I've got a good one for you today because they're about to declare an emergency. And we've heard a lot of talk about real estate, but this is wild if this goes through. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, but let's get right into it. Think about this. Donald Trump is about to declare a housing emergency, and he's about to throw the federal government into the home business. And one thing that has been done with this administration is Bill Pulte, the director of financing for FHFA, that cabinet position. He runs Pulte Homes. Well, he did. He stepped down from it. His son's running it right now. But with that being said, this guy ran the third largest home builder. And don't get confused. He doesn't want to sell shoes. He doesn't want to sell cars. He wants to move homes. What can we do, Mr. President, to move homes? So, what the president can do, if they declare an emergency, there are 137 different things that the federal government has to its assistance that they can do to make an emergency go away without going to Congress. Okay? And some of these are wild, but the speculation, things have been sent to me, are unbelievable. You're starting to see for the first time since 2008 that you're starting to see new construction sell at a discount over existing homes. It happens, guys. It happens in every economy. But what you're seeing right now is, how can we move this? Well, there's a housing shortage. It's funny. I always loved that story, but it sure does seem like people have a place to go unless you're a veteran and you're here in LA and they want to steal the homeless money. But anyways, the thing about this is that there's a lot of different creative things that they could do. First thing is financing. They could set up a program to where you would have a substantial amount of discount given on a home that you didn't have to initially pay for it. In other words, let's just use $500,000 home, and you were going to put 20% down. You should. You don't have 20%, you have 3%. Well, what if we lent you the other 17% through the federal government and the bank was made whole, but you have to pay that back in a 10-year time? That's one thing that could be done. Now, if that's done, it's going to make the price of houses shoot through the moon. It really is. The other thing is, you're going to have lower income projects where you're going to sit there and have a complete forgivable amount, which could be something. I mean, it's wild when you think about this. Read these stories below. It's wild because you could have the federal government say, hey, listen, and I know you're supposed to put $100,000 down, but we're going to forgive $50,000. And it's not just in the low incomes areas, it's for everybody, everywhere. It's designed to move properties and get them to close escrow as soon as possible. So, wild. Help with legal mechanisms. It'll solve a $4 million shortfall because it would make people want to build more homes. You'd also have a proposed solution for permits so that people that were having permitting problems, they would expedite it. Now, if you're here in California and your house burns down, you sure, no one cares. Here in Newport Beach, California, you've got all this construction on top of the hill here on Balboa Island. It is crazy the amount of construction that's going on right now. But if you could get through the red tape federally and they could make these things get stamped faster, it would, it would help people. Now, again, is the American dream dead? Is housing dead? I don't know. But one thing that's happening, we're seeing so much go wrong when it comes to the economy right now. You have more and more people that are financing automobiles above $40,000 for 84 months. Your car is worth nothing, guys. You want to finance a car and maintain the equity on a fairly new or new car, it's 36 months, guys. That's the magic number. Oh my God, damn, my payment will be through the roof. That's the idea, guys. The problem with it is that you sit there and oh my God, I'm upside down $12,000. I have heard horror stories. Every time I talk about this, people send me the most wild things of how they were completely upside down when it came to their homes and their cars. Excuse me, pardon me. I've got cars in the brain because of all the construction in the background. But isn't that wild, guys? So, you're just seeing it more and more and more right now. So, One thing I want to remind everybody is that September is here. And, there is a woman that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, Fran Glover, who runs a charity called Joseph Dreamhouse. And this is good and bad. There's good at the end of this story. It is disgusting that we have to have Hunger Awareness Month. Fran wants to call it Hunger Action Month, that people do things to help people feed each other. It's terrible, guys, that we have to have that. So she runs this charity, and this charity goes out and it puts together food for people. And I'll leave the link below, but if you donate to this charity, it's a 501c3, it's completely tax deductible, but she will put together food for people that that will make a big difference in their lives. And again, it's families, people that lost their jobs. Okay, it is terrible. Okay, it really is. The other thing is, here at September, one thing about September right now, guys, is the SNAP program, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Okay, finally learned what that meant today. That is being cut back dramatically because they're trying to find out if there's any deadbeats just sucking off the program that should get off their fat asses and have a job. So people have to answer questions, answer their emails. And I have people saying, hey, I had no idea I was supposed to respond to this stuff. You better respond to everything they write you right now, because the average person that's getting cuts right now, $73 to $241 a month in food benefits being cut. That's a huge, huge difference, guys. Huge, huge difference. New Jersey. I keep getting stories about diners being cut. Have you ever been to like a really cool diner? God, when I was a kid, we used to go to these places at midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning. Now I need a nap at 10 o'clock at night to stay up to 11. But with that being said, there used to be some really cool diners. Diners were all over Jersey. Over the last 10 years, they lost 450 diners. Over the last year, they lost 150 of those cool diners, those small places with those eclectic meals that you could go to, and you'd know the waitress, and Flo would serve you coffee, and you just would have a good time, and Tony Soprano would shake you down. It was great. It was great. But they're closing, guys, and they blame it all on food costs and the problem with employment. Your Zorhan Mamdani guy, okay, I'm going to be very politically correct right here. He wants to raise the minimum wage to $30 an hour. I saw a great video today from a man who said, listen, if I make $30 an hour and you're going to take a guy who was making 16 and you're going to raise him to 30, I'm going to get paid $60 an hour. Do you know the chaos that this is going to create? You're going to make it so your hamburger and fries will be $88, okay? And nobody can afford this. Nobody can afford this. So it's coming, guys. It's coming. Chaos is coming. Just keep your eyes open, okay? A Place in Hell is for Lillian Morris. Lillian Morris is out of the Paradise, Florida area, and she was hired by an elderly man to be a caregiver. Great job. Isn't it good? That's nice, isn't she? Well, she found out that the guy had very little access to his family. So what she did was she went out and she forged documents, had an appraiser come in, appraise the house, do a power of attorney with her name on it, and then basically sign the house over to her. Uh-oh. Plus she got $238,000 out of his account. I am telling you this, guys, right now, if you have anybody that has been injured and, oh gosh, Beth is so nice. Beth is a thief, guys. Assume the worst, guys. I had strangers in my house, working with Lisa, and we shook these people down, okay? We asked questions, and we did everything but interrogate them before they got the job. One thing I did, but I didn't like them because I was paying for it. Bye. You're serious. Yeah, get out of here. Listen, I had a deal with the company. This is the best thing. Had a contract. Hey, add this line to my agreement. If I refuse anybody and refuse service, you have to get me somebody within 2 hours, and I'm not responsible for paying them at all. Okay. They agreed to that. Happened twice. My daughter kicked somebody out too. This is crazy. So, anyways, this woman's getting charged with a bunch of crimes, which I loved. In 2020, 980 billionaires in the United States. 980. That's a lot, guys. Well, now there's 1,135. They're not all tech, real estate, AI, you know, real estate, AI. Everything is off right now. Shopping is off. People are having such a difficult time with financing these automobiles. Here's the thing that I had. Hey, Dan, you can't get an 84-month loan for a car. Really? So I sent the guy, I did literally a search, and it took me 2 minutes, and I sent the guy links to it. And you know what I think he did was like, God, I want an 84-month car loan. He didn't call back. He just was like, didn't say a word, but he probably thought, oh, cool, I'll contact these banks. So, you know what I mean? So again, $40,000 car loan, 6.5%. You can get yourself a payment under $600 a month. That sounds great, Dan. Let's get that. It's insane, guys. It's insane. You know, self-checkout changes are coming to the United States on the middle of the month, between 21st, of the month. And that is, if you have a self-checkout with 2 or more people, you have to have an employee stand there that has to. Now, stores hate this because, wait a second, why do I have to have somebody here? Because we don't want you to fleece us. We don't want you to steal from us. If you have more than 2 check stands open, you have to have 2 employees. You have 3 checkout stands, you have to have 2 employees. This will crack down on theft majorly. So, what do you guys think so far? Let me know. I'm going to finish this video with these last few stories. And don't forget to sign up for our private channel called iAllegedly Live. It's all the uncensored stuff. It's fantastic. And there's a great video that we just did. Actually, I think it's funny, but I'm glad it's up there. ConocoPhillips, the big petroleum company, they have 11,800 employees. Not anymore. They're going to let go of 3,000 employees because they're going to cut back to save money. Gas demand is not going down, but they just can't afford to run their business right now. Isn't that wild to think about? So they're going to cut 3,000 employees. This is a good one too. And I want to thank Gary out of Florida sending me this one. And this is a woman in Florida went out and got her homeowner's insurance canceled. And again, this happens more and more right now. Okay? Lynn Schuler, her insurance company, homeowner's insurance, canceled the policy. Guys, we're just going to circle the lake or the bridge here just because there's construction on both sides and they're grinding and doing stuff that's noisy. So Lynn Schuler gets a drone flyover and there's a branch overhanging the tree, overhanging the house. We're going to deny your policy. So she cleaned it up and they still denied her policy. Okay? So again, guys, you have to look at this stuff. When I was looking to buy my house, my brother did a lot of crazy things where hey, what do you think of this one? And he would sit there and he goes, listen, okay, this one's good, this one's bad. And I'll never forget, there was one up in the hills that I couldn't even get insurance on, but it was just laced with trees. It had all the privacy in the world. It had this swooping driveway. It was just beautiful. I just envisioned, people in my pool that wore bikinis. You know what I mean? It was going to be great. But my brother just was like, look at this. This is a disaster. It's a fire hazard waiting to happen. So he would have caught them. But Gary had, my buddy had a situation where they told him, hey, you got to replace these shingles or we're going to cancel, your policy. So he did it, and that was the end of that. But again, guys, just don't sit back on your laurels. Look at your property. Is it clean or not? With AI, with programs. My trash company wrote me a letter and said, listen, if you have any more trash that's not supposed to be in the right receptacles, like the yard waste and recyclables, we're going to come out and have a state inspector come out and fine you. And I called them and I said, listen, I just want you to understand how this is never going to happen, and how when I roll these out the night before at midnight, I have no idea what people put in. And sure enough, some guy down the street, nice guy, threw a bunch of carpet and pillows and stuff into my receptacles because he didn't have enough room in his. Well, they didn't like that. And I said, okay, you know what? We film this now, sir. We can have, okay, good. I've never had that stuff. I have no idea what you're talking about. So that went away. But again, they're watching us, guys. They're watching us. Now, two complete ass clowns, Adrian Terrell and Adrian Peraza, these two jokers went out, and one guy's a truck driver. So what they did was they went up to a semi, unhooked the semi, drove the truck away, broke in, hot wired, isn't that cool? Drove it away, parked it, and then parked a regular semi into the, the truck and drove it away. It had $100,000 of the frozen chicken. Okay? These guys were being watched by feds during this time, and they arrested them. What do you do with $100,000 of the frozen chicken? Seriously. Isn't that wild? I laugh. So the story is the last one below. Enjoy. Like, subscribe. Please donate to Joseph Dreamhouse. Remember, Hunger Awareness Month is disgusting. Fran calls it Hunger Action Month. I love her. She's an absolute gem, an absolute good person. But what they do is they take your donations 100% and put it towards food for people that are hungry. Use the link below. It'll be the top link. Use it below. I do this every September, and I've known this woman since 2021. She has fed, I think, 100,000 families right now. I mean, it's crazy. The numbers are terrible. The worst thing with this is that she had people that would donate every month, like they'd give $100, $500, and then those people lost their jobs, and now they're clients of hers. So tough time can hit anybody, guys, okay? There's a lot of deserving people out there that we need to help. So be kind to everybody, okay? Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. If you want to get a hold of me, it's hello@iallegedly.com, and I'll see you soon.